Charismatic founding father of Split Enz, who this week not only performs at the Greenpeace POP concert, but also releases his new solo album. Although recorded in America, the record marks somewhat of a homecoming for Tim. He's re-recorded a track off the album with Herbs for later single release, and he shot the video to his first single in Auckland. We caught up with him on the set. When Tim Finn came to make the first video for his new self-titled album, he was sure of one thing: it would be filmed in New Zealand.
I wanted to do it here specifically to get some local flavour, to get some of New Zealand, some of Auckland in it. Partly for my own selfish reasons, because I still have strong attachments to this place, and also because I think the Americans are pretty green around the ears, or wet behind the ears when it comes to things Antipodean. And they've seen a lot of Australian clips lately. They haven't seen anything much from this part of the world, so I thought I'd dish them up some.
And in the security of his homeland, Tim also decided to try his hand at directing his own clip for the first time.
I've found it very stimulating, and it's been a co-direction very much. I wouldn't have done it without Robert Gillies, who used to be in Split Enz. He's now an art director here in Auckland. He's produced and art directed the clip. And Warwick Atwell from Wellington has been DOP and here director of photography. And without that combination, I wouldn't have dared do it. But I've been in good hands. When it comes time to perform, I tend to forget that I'm supposed to be having an overview, and I get involved in the performance side. But that's where Rob and Warwick step in, really. So, as I say, it's a triumvirate of people. And often there's this mystery of what is a director, because I think filmmaking at its best anyway is a collaborative thing. And I think sometimes directors become these megalomaniac figures who everybody assumes are totally in control. But really, the best films are made by groups of people.
As well as making the video clip during his visit home to New Zealand, Tim was also involved in 2 impromptu Split Enz reunions on the summer Crowded House and Schnellfenster tour.
I respect your wishes. You gave me such precious hours. What to do without you? Split me out of your life, down the drain.
It was surprising how natural it felt. I thought it would be like, odd sort of thing. Wow, what am I doing here? This feels weird, but it didn't. It was just, boom, slipped straight into a certain gear, like 6th gear or something. And it was a good feeling, good heartwarming feeling and passionate feeling. There's still a lot of passion there for those songs.
Watching Tim and younger brother Neil Finn on stage in the Enz reunion spots, audiences must have thought about what it must have been like for Tim to watch Neil's success with Crowded House.
It's been an interesting thing. At first it was, I suppose if I'd written a script for my life, how we always end up in our lives falling into circumstances that either teach us or not, depending on how we want to learn from them. I was a competitive, ambitious, neurotic person, for many years. Probably still am, and but not as much. I think I've got some of that in perspective, and my life feels better and stronger for it. But if I'd written a script, there I was with a brother who had scaled the heights in America, and a girlfriend who was all over the magazines and in films and all that, and then I was in the middle sort of trying to plot my solo career, and it was just incredibly amusing. And the day I started laughing at it was the day that I came through it. At first it was like a bit of a worry, but I just ended up laughing, because you have to take, I think, the outside view at your life occasionally. And so from then on it's been great. It's been an inspiration as much as anything, because I was starting to almost head down that road towards soundtrack work, the odd film appearance maybe, doing a bit of solo work, writing songs for other people, but no real focus, because of Big Canoe didn't really work for me, and I was a bit unsure of what to do next. Suddenly Neil was doing what he should be doing, and I suppose it gave me a kick up the bum, and so ultimately very positive.
The girlfriend all over the magazines and in films that Tim was referring to is Heat and Dust and White Mischief star Greta Scacchi, who also appears in the clip with Tim. Filmed at Bethel's Beach, the Last and First Cafe in Simon Street, and other locations in and around Auckland, the How Am I Gonna Sleep video looks to be a winner. But how does Tim feel about the album it's taken from?
I feel good. I feel very, very good at the moment in my, the way things feel around me. Like I'm getting a lot of good feedback about the album, and I feel good about it. So it's a positive time for me. But to a certain extent, it's in the lap of the gods, of course, you know, what happens to it. So I think once you can actually just say that, you know, to hell with it, even partially. Of course you care, but even if you can just get to the stage where you're almost thinking to hell with it, then you can actually feel good about it, whatever happens, and that's the way I am. And I think they're some of the best songs I've written, and they're played really well, so I just want to basically get back on stage. I've been too long away from stage, and when I did this stuff with the Crowded House recently, I suddenly realised that there was a big part of me that, you know, hasn't been coming out for very long, and I need to get that part out. Otherwise, it'll sort of splatter all over the kitchen or somewhere, and it could be, you know, just a bad news.